Tonight on NewsVision, South Florida residents have joined a national movement to protest the current administration.
The time has come to make a difference, and this is the beginning. It's going to be a long haul.
We will take you there. Plus, we will introduce you to one of the oldest Holocaust survivors who spent a decade of his life in concentration camps.
I wanted to survive. I was determined.
And later on, we will meet former women's basketball coach Katie Meyer, who has a new title on campus, still guiding Canes to success.
I'm glad I'm teaching because it's keeping me current too.
All this and more on tonight's show, and it starts right now. Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Gavin Bishow.
And I'm Kayla Butter. Thank you for joining us. Coral Gables police are investigating an incident that happened on UM's campus late Sunday night. They reported that the man you see on your screen exposed himself to a female student studying at the Shalala Student Center. Police say the man walked up to the female student without clothing and began touching himself inappropriately. Following the incident, the UM Police Department sent a safety notice to the school and released the photos of the man. Following the notification, another female student reported a separate incident where the same man exposed himself next to her a couple weeks ago.
The Shalala Student Center is one of the most high-traffic areas on campus, with restaurants like Starbucks, Corner Deli, and the Rathskeller, while also being steps away from the lakeside patio and campus pool. We reached out to the university's communication office for a statement, but they have not returned our calls yet.
It's been 1 month since President Trump was sworn into office, and many people have taken to the streets to protest his policies. Taryn Jacobs is live at Bayfront Park, where she had the chance to speak with protesters. Taryn, tell us what happened.
Kayla, here at Bayfront Park in downtown Miami, the voices of hundreds of protesters echoed through these streets and across the nation on President's Day to show their disapproval for the Trump administration and Elon Musk's involvement in the government.
KKK, no fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK, no fascist!
We have a president who is immoral, a misogynist, a hater, a dictator, a liar. These are really not qualities we want in someone who's going to lead this country, because he's not a leader, he's a destroyer.
Less than a month after Trump was sworn into the highest U.S. office, tens of thousands across the United States have begun protesting against him.
He sits in the White House trying to overthrow our country, taking away the rights of people. I don't understand it. I don't understand the people who voted for them.
The protest is part of the 50-51 movement, and today on President's Day, they have organized 50 protests in 50 states in just one day. Hundreds gathered at Bayfront Park in Miami as part of the national rally dubbed Not My President.
Our whole democracy is at stake. We're losing the right to vote, the right to representation. Look at the people out here. They're defending democracy.
What I hope is accomplished is that the rest of America wakes up with not just this protest, all the protests going on in the nation, because we are headed towards a fascist regime. We're supposed to be America. We're supposed to be progressive. We're supposed to be constantly getting better. And now we're getting like 50 steps back.
But supporters of Trump say protests like this are likely not going to change the minds of voters who put Trump in office.
The southern border is not secure. You have to secure it. I'm pro-immigration. I love people from all different kinds of countries. I speak multiple languages. So I love people from other countries, and I think we should speed up the legal process. But with no process and no border, there's no country.
But many of the protesters feel encouraged by the response.
I feel really excited and grateful. I think it was a great turnout. Everyone remained peaceful. They got to express their opinions and their views, and I'm really happy about it.
The time has come to make a difference, and this is the beginning. It's going to be a long haul.
No Trump!
It's not
no
going to happen
KKK,
one day,
no fascist
but the
USA.
time begins now.
Right after these protests, Trump visited Miami on Wednesday to speak at the Future Investment Initiative Conference in Miami Beach, which was which was sponsored by Saudi government entities. His motorcade from Miami International Airport to the Faena Hotel where the conference was held caused lots of traffic in Miami for students and Miami residents. Trump became the first president to speak at the annual conference, highlighting his relationship with the Saudis. Some of the issues he addressed included tax cuts, oil production, and the ongoing wars in the region. Live from Bayfront Park, Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Thank you, Taryn. The U.S. Senate has officially approved Kash Patel to be the new director for the FBI. A known Trump loyalist with a long history of FBI criticism received extreme pushback from Democrats throughout the confirmation process.
He is a very dangerous individual for the FBI, both because of his vindictiveness and the foreign entanglements.
Two Republican senators, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, joined Democrats in voting against his confirmation, citing Patel's prior political activities. As a staunch loyalist of President Donald Trump, Democrats had warned that Patel could use the position to seek retribution against Trump's perceived political enemies. During his hearing, Patel said that there will be no politicization at the FBI and no retributive action. Patel is a former federal prosecutor who demanded the names of all January 6 investigators when working for the Justice Department.
Hello and welcome to Coast, bringing you news from across the United States. I'm Andres Jaime Mendez.
And I'm Emma Balleste. As we mentioned last week, the Trump administration is doubling down on banning journalists from the Associated Press from having access to the White House because of the media organization's instances on calling it the Gulf of Mexico.
The Associated Press, and I don't know what they're doing, but I just say that we're going to keep them out until such time as they agree that it's the Gulf of America. We're very proud of this country, and we want it to be the Gulf of America.
The AP stands by its decision to use the original term, Gulf of Mexico, honoring its 400-year history, while also acknowledging its new name.
Now, the Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, led by Elon Musk, has begun mass layoffs and shutting several governmental agencies' ongoing work, something that has sparked protests.
This Department of Government Efficiency is coming in, and they're not just looking for efficiency, they're looking to destroy. And I think if this was happening to a private company, or if this was happening to other people's property, there would be outrage.
The chaotic approach by the new administration has led many to believe that Trump is overstepping his executive powers, and judges across the nation have been making efforts to temporarily block DOJ's actions.
With several recent plane crashes in the U.S., concerns over air safety are intensifying as the Trump administration fires more Federal Aviation Administration employees.
I do think the American public does need to be concerned about not only my firing, but also the firing of so many public safety, national security professionals at the FAA.
In a statement, acting FAA Administrator Chris Richelieu said the FAA continues to hear and onboard air traffic controllers and safety professionals, including mechanics and others who support them. The agency has retained employees who perform safety-critical functions.
President Trump also announced federal funding would be withheld from schools and universities that require students to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
This initiative is a part of the current administration's push against vaccine mandates, even though no public K-8 currently requires COVID vaccination.
According to the National Academy for State Health Policy, 21 states have already banned student vaccine mandates.
As Taryn mentioned, Trump spent time in Miami yesterday to meet with business executives at a conference sponsored by Saudi Arabia's annual investment summit.
The event is run by the Future Investment Institute, based in Saudi Arabia to promote global investment opportunities and foster innovation.
Amid rising tensions, Trump threatened Ukrainian President Zelensky to, quote, move fast on negotiations to end the war. Trump also called Zelensky a dictator.
A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast because that war is going in the wrong direction. In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something I'll admit that only Trump is going to be able to do in the Trump administration.
While Trump did mention Ukraine, he did not touch on the conflict in Gaza. Trump has ties with the Saudis as his organization is currently building a tower in the city of Jeddah.
The Saudi crown prince promised Trump in a phone call that they would invest $600 billion in the U.S. during President Trump's term.
That's all we have for now.
Coast to Coast will be back next week with your national updates.
Thank you, guys. While the war in Ukraine is coming on its 3rd anniversary in 2 days, one Miami bookstore hosted a talk on the conflict this week. The Books and Books bookstore organized the event in collaboration with World Affairs Miami and the University of Miami Hanley Center for Democracy. The event featured Yaroslav Trofimov, who was a Ukrainian Wall Street Journal correspondent and author. He introduced his new book called No Country for Love, telling the story of his grandmother in the early 20th century Ukraine and the conflicts that the country has faced from Russia. Trofimov tied his book to the current conflict and said a Ukrainian victory is essential.
And what is happening in Ukraine has very direct implications for the future in Europe and the future of the world we sit on. If Russia wins the Ukraine now, it's not going to stop.
The author says he believes telling stories about the lives of Ukrainians is crucial for the people worldwide to understand the importance of the war and hopes his home country will be free soon.
As time passes, the number of Holocaust survivors able to share their firsthand accounts is dwindling. But as Quinn Davidson shows us, one man is making sure his story is heard.
Kitty is gracious.
A powerful history lesson.
I am from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here today to talk to the people, to let them know about the Holocaust. I'm a survivor from the Holocaust. I survived 12 camps. So I want the people to let the people know what happened.
Joseph is one of approximately 240,000 living survivors of the Holocaust, one of the darkest times in human history that claimed the lives of more than 6 million Jewish people. But what makes Joseph unique is the fact that he is one of the oldest Holocaust survivors. He is 102 years young.
I wanted to survive. I was determined. I was determined to survive. So that's why helped me go through 12 camps.
Recently, Joseph visited a Chabad in the village of Palmetto Bay near Miami to talk about his life. His message was one of resilience and hope.
The only thing I want to share with everybody is to be kind to each other and respect other people. You should respect them like you want to be respected yourself.
Where was God at Auschwitz?
Rabbi Zellman, who leads the Chabad at Palmetto Bay, says that bringing speakers like Joseph Alexander is more about than just recounting history. It's about sparking discussion.
It's not only on the turnout, it's also a conversation. We're creating conversation, then people come and talk and ask questions. It's all about asking questions, not only on the event, but also after the event.
They said they're afraid that they're going to attack us.
Events like these are a crucial reminder of history and the lessons learned, and the importance of ensuring they are never forgotten.
I'm not as confident that the youth will appreciate what happened in World War II. The farther they're removed from it, the more difficult it is to educate them.
For UMTV, I'm Quinn Davidson.
3/4 of the U.S. are experiencing record-breaking cold temperatures this week. We'll tell you how this severe weather has been impacting millions of Americans after the break. Stay with us.